Alright, so I said I would make a video about the Franken pen I made. I watched a video by, I'll post a link below this, but turning an Ahab into a flex pen with a Browse rose nib, and I tried that and it actually worked really well. It was just too scratchy for my taste. And also, it's a delicate nib, so I was really afraid of breaking it. And I also have this Comic G nib. My camera sucks, so you can't really see it. And it's a lot firmer, and it's a lot thicker as well, and I like it overall more than the Browse nib, just for, daily heavy use. So basically I have Noodler's Ahab disassembled on a napkin. I broke the breather tube, I guess I bent the breather tube a couple of days ago fiddling around with this, so I don't have one, but you probably will. So I'll show you guys where to put that once you get there. So basically, you have the feed, which I deepened myself, but I don't think you have to. If you want to, I just took a knife and along the ridges right here, along the main ridge, I just deepened it a little bit to get more ink flow. So you basically take the nib. My camera sucks, so you can't really tell. Yeah. So you're gonna see on the Comic G nib, you have the main, hole right there, and then you have two holes on the side, and it looks kind of. Let me get a piece of paper and show you. So it basically, your nib looks like, I can draw it, like this, right? And then you have, here's the slit, and then you have this one right here. But you also have two on the side, which look like this. And you'll see it more if you turn it. I don't know if you can see it right there. Yeah, my camera sucks. So, that's your nib. So you're going to want to get one of these, and you're going to want to put that parallel to the very last, edge, the very last slit on your nib feed. You're going to want to line that up, and at least that's what I've done. That works for me. I guess you can try it farther away. And then you just want to keep the feed straight on the nib. It's kind of a tight fit. It doesn't really, it kind of bends to accommodate, and it's a snug fit. But once you get it in there, you should be careful. You could crack this part of your pen. So I don't know how you feel about that, but it's a $20 pen. I'm not too worried about it. So you just want to keep it straight. It's not going to fit on automatic. There's a bit of a gap, because you can tell right there. So just going to put it in. There's a little gap in this for the nib feed. For the nib feed and the nib, and I marked it off with some just metallic markers, so I know. And so just line that up. Make sure everything is straight. And then you're going to just want to sort of stick it in there like that. Push it in there. Now, I've done this before, and there's a bit of a gap between the nib and the nib feed, although I haven't had a problem with it. I have no idea why. I think I should, but it's worked for me. So once you have it in there, you just assemble your pen. You would put in the breather tube right now. I don't have mine. So I'm going to screw on the converter, and then I'm going to fill it up so you can see how she writes. I'm just using Private Reserve ink. Although you might, I know the guy who did the other video suggested to try a more viscous ink, like Noodler's X Feather, which you'll see if you watch his video, which would be a good idea because this tends to lay down a lot of ink and if you're writing on regular paper, it could feather a lot. Although I don't know if that's the reason why he suggested it. So I just screw this back on. Cap is over here, obviously. And so now we're going to try to write some stuff. At first, it takes a while to get some of the ink flowing, and you might get blobs like this, although it doesn't drip, which is good. See, so that means there's a seal, although if you do, you know, press it down, it will blob. So basically, you want to get a line going, some ink going, but then once you get the ink going, as you can see, oh, I guess there's some railroading. You might have to lightly tap on the paper or something. But once you get the ink going, it really writes rather nicely. You can actually get, as you can see, it's very wet. I'll show you. See? Which is why you might want an ink with higher viscosity. It also goes for a long time before I tried doing a line, and it actually went on for like 9 inches, so I mean, it does tend to dry out, but as you can see, you know, this goes a long way without railroading. So I think it's a good pen. I think it's a good nib. I've read a lot about dip pens being put on fountain pens, fountain pens, and they have a tendency to rust. I've only done this for 2 days. This is my second day with this pen, and I haven't seen any rusting yet, but you need to get ink flow. But I would recommend, I guess, taking it out to clean every once in a while. Yeah, there are some problems at first, but once you get it going, it does tend to write very nicely, as you can see. It's very wet, it's really wet, so, and it goes through a lot of ink, so definitely have. But there's some nice, wow, yeah, if you go too fast, it'll definitely railroad. But, just regular writing. It's nice. It's a nice, fine. For faster writing, it's okay. A lot of spotting. But yeah, once you get an ink flow, if you go nice and slow, you should be able to get a lot out of it. Definitely more than you would if just an ink pen. It writes, I say it's comparable to my vintage Flex pen, the one that I had, which I already broke, so I can't show you, but it has a nice flex. It's really smooth, much smoother than the Browse Rose nib. I mean, that was just scratchy, terribly scratchy. Yeah. But overall, I think it works pretty well for having a gap in there. Maybe later on I'll try to modify the nib feed, but for right now, I like this the way it is. Problems and all. So, hope you enjoyed this video. I hope to post many more with other things. And thanks for following me on whatever internet media you follow me on. You guys are radical. Yeah, thanks.